Hey, how's it going? It's your girl NakeyJakey, aka Snakeboy229.
10 years ago, on Monday, November 30th, 2015, I uploaded a YouTube video called Games That Should Bang, Grand Theft Auto 5 and Metal Gear Solid 5. I always did have a knack for short clickbaity titles. For 7 of those 10 years, Team Cherry, a very small game developer from Australia, was working on one thing: the highly anticipated sequel to their hit game Hollow Knight, Silksong. Silksong finally came out in September to everyone's surprise and proceeded to crash every gaming storefront known to man. And I proceeded to play the absolute devil out of it. So naturally, being a YouTube video essayist critic who gives a shit, I thought to myself, oh, I just gotta make a video about this. But then I had even more thoughts. Thoughts about myself and my experience as a game critic. Thoughts about what value game critics even hold. Thoughts like, why do I, of all people, a dumbass from South Dakota with a high school level education, possess any right or platform to cast my banal thoughts into an oversaturated sea of men standing in front of green screens going, are you a 22 to 34-year-old male that remembers nostalgia? Remember Xbox? Remember Mountain Dew in your innocence? remember the Titans? Wait, but isn't that like your whole thing?
Yeah, and your thing is constantly saying stupid shit like, this is too linear and this is too outdated, and if every game isn't either Fallout New Vegas or Dark Souls, me and my ball are gonna growl at you. But you are not the one at least trying to make Starfield. You are not the one at least trying to make The Last of Us Part 2. Bro, you are not the thinker. You are the one barely managing to write a script right now in between your prolonged bathroom sessions of scrolling YouTube shorts for 30 minutes, and you are the one who just used the wrong "your" back there.
Okay, what is happening right now?
I mean, what even qualifies as a good sequel in the eyes of the self-appointed online critic YouTube fucker anyway? Is it getting more of the same but bigger, better, and more badass? Is it the overt, haha, remember that one, fan service? Is it defying expectations and just pissing everyone off and saying, all right, fuck it, here's Raiden, have fun, he's gonna get his gummy worm out later, and he does naked gummy worm cartwheels too.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of those things on like a case-by-case basis.
What's the genius title gonna be this time, you 10-year yoga yapping yokel bitch? Team Cherry's game design is outdated?
It's different this time, damn it.
How about Team Cherry's game design is frustrating, Team Cherry's game design is brilliant, Team Cherry's game design is punishing, satisfying, obtuse, enthralling, clever, good, bad, complicated, simple, but it's not just one fucking word. Won't you finally realize, after doing this trivial slop for a decade, that nothing and no one can ever be summed up by just one?
Okay, so I'm definitely going through some sort of midlife crisis as far as the trajectory of my career goes, but all of that aside, I really do want to make a good, interesting review on Silksong. But what even is a good review when everything is so incredibly subjective? I mean, I guess my hope is that when you're watching my videos, you're always seeing it through the lens that this is one man's deranged thoughts and not a objective opinion that everyone should have.
But what if my videos had a numbered score at the end of them, and that score was aggregated on Metacritic, and that score brought down the overall Metacritic rating, and now the developer failed to meet the publisher's expectations and people lose their jobs? I mean, fuck it, Microsoft kills companies that get good Metacritic scores.
Suddenly, a subjective opinion carries a lot more responsibility with it. I'm not saying mine necessarily does, thank God, but still, if your opinion is potentially going to be seen by millions of people and it's the thing that pays your bills and you throw a sponsor in the middle of it, it all just starts to get a little weird if you think about it too much, which I I definitely am not. I would never.
But at the same time, obviously, we need criticism. No one has all the time in the day to shovel through mountains of music, movies, TV shows, and games to figure out what's good and what's dog shit. Games are even weirder though because they demand something of you, an active participation where what could be extremely hard and inaccessible for one is binky dinky bullshit baby tummy time for others. Not to mention, some are asking you for $70 or $80 now, and even the good ones can still release as a stuttering, shader compiling, unreal amount of issues Engine 5, RTX on DLSS, HD, DVD, BD, Dead in my laboratory.
But even if Silksong is your cup of tea, which it certainly is mine, it is also really fucking hard. That much has certainly been established. But is it too hard? And is it so hard that the Metacritic score should be lowered because of its too hardness? And what does too hard necessarily even mean? What does too hard even look like? What does too hard feel like? What does too hard sound like? God damn. Okay, you're cut off, so let's try to break down hardness into two things: difficulty and punishment.
I came across this really great comment by user Jade Mallow on Reddit during the Silksong difficulty discourse that broke down the fundamental difference between D and P really well.
Difficulty is the mechanical demand on the player during gameplay. How fun.
Whether it's precise physical inputs during a platformer or action game, or mental acuity or problem-solving ability during a puzzle or strategy game.
And punishment is what happens when the player fails to meet those demands.
You fall into a hole, you gotta restart the level. You die from a boss, you gotta go back to the bonfire. You accidentally skip a cutscene when you didn't mean to in a Kojima game, and now you are just so fucking confused. Who is Mr. Corndog Man, and how am I ever supposed to figure out what his favorite microwavable frozen snack is? Celeste, really high difficulty, extremely low punishment. Difficulty on my made-up graph here is like an 8, punishment is like a 1. If we split the difference, we can calculate an overall bullshit factor of 4.5. Balatro over here is like the polar opposite. Pretty low second-to-second difficulty demand on the player, let's say like a 2. However, very high punishment because when you fail, you have to start your entire run over, but each run is pretty short, so I don't know, let's say like a 7, giving an overall bullshit factor of 4.5. But what about something like Resident Evil? Mechanically, it's pretty difficult, mostly just because the fucking tank controls. But it's really the punishment that is often brutal. Save rooms are the only checkpoints in the game, so if you die, you will always go back to the last time you saved. But in order to save, you have to use these ink ribbon items, and there's a finite amount of them in the game. Goddamn. So a difficulty demand of like, I don't know, 5, but a punishment of like 9, and if we have our hamster crunch our numbers, we can get a bullshit factor of 7. Ooh. Definitely not a game for everyone. But what about Resident Evil 4? That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT! Mechanically, it's a lot more demanding now because it's full-on action, but the punishment is way more chill. You get an automatic checkpoint at the beginning of every new room you waltz into, so if you die, it's okay, Leon, just try again. So although the difficulty demand is a bit higher of, let's say, 6.5, I don't know, none of these numbers are real, but the punishment is more chill, let's say like a 3, given a bullshit factor of 4.75, making it way more accessible to way more gamers, leading to way more people actually reaching the end of the game, which you should. There's a jet ski.
Oh my god, I just spoiled the fucking jet ski. I'm so fucking sorry.
Also, Mark Brown of Game Maker's Toolkit dropped a video about Silksong and difficulty and basically just explained everything I just did, but way better and more effectively. And he also used a graph, and I watched that and I was like, man, I did not go to college. Okay, that's enough for that. I think it's time for me to talk, okay? You know what? No, actually, you shut the fuck up and wait a second, because I actually made merch for once to commemorate this whole 10 years of dog shit thing on ballcreative.store. So you know what? I'm gonna take the talking stick for a second, okay? We got some serious pieces, okay? You guys remember the thank you for watching Arial font? Also, sometimes I've written it down. Do you remember the Tom Hanks shirt? We got a Jacob Hanks shirt now. There was that one time I sat on a ball. Ball Creative LLC. We got the big graphic on the back. Ballcreative.store. Okay. All right, lawyer, it's your turn. Go keep our lights on. Okay. Thank you. I guess now it's my turn with the talking stick. Hi, I'm Jakey, and Jakey, attorneys at law. Thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's video. I used to do all my budgeting using crappy homemade spreadsheets that I'd make, but I'd get confused as all get out. What even is going on here? Is that wingdings? But today's sponsor, Rocket Money, is is here to help. Rocket Money is an easy-to-use app that helps you save more and manage your money better. Using Rocket Money, I created a customized budget in seconds, and I never had to spread my eyes on a crappy spreadsheet ever again. The app shows you where your money is going at all times and identifies top spending categories with insights on how you can stay within your budget better. Rocket Money will notify you about upcoming charges or when your balance is low to help you avoid overdrafts and late fees. I positively, absolutely hate discovering that I'm still paying for unwanted subscriptions. I only want to pay for wanted subscriptions like Lawyer Daily Magazine Global. They have comics. They make me go Once you connect your bank account, Rocket Money identifies all of your subscriptions in one place. From there, you can select the ones you don't want anymore, and Rocket Money may be able to help you cancel with just a few taps. Take control of your finances today. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen right now to get started for free. Thanks again to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to the NakeyJakey Power Hour. What's he doing this time? Check this out. He's probably so outdated. He's just like a mangled mangled bag of bones and sawdust, but he's still wearing a really cool tap-out shirt that says something like "Pain is just freakness leaving the body," and a snapback that says whatever. Okay, I'll miss you.
But within D and P, there's more specific types of F, or friction. Some being nice heavenly friction, and some being evil little frickers. More like split friction. Go ahead and write that down.
I'm gonna need a freaking frictionary to keep up with this guy. And yeah, I am the teacher's pet, in case you were wondering. Going back to Resident Evil, you could argue the high punishment is necessary though because it provides stakes. It gives you something to lose, makes you think more carefully about your decisions the next time.
But most importantly, that friction is a fundamental tool to immerse you into a world that is supposed to make you feel poor, lost, and scared, or PLS. Please write that down as well.
You got it, Teach. I'm still the teacher's pet.
Example of a bad friction, a little fricker. Grand Theft Auto Trilogy on the Sony PS2.
You drive across the big-ass map to start a mission. During the mission, you drive back to the other side of the big-ass map. Somewhere along the way, you die to some random bullshit. You awaken at a hospital with less money, none of your weapons, and on top of that, now you get to drive all the way back across the map just to start the mission over again. GTA 4 added the immediate retry text message, which was huge, and then Red Dead Redemption and Onward just had full-on automatic checkpoints during the missions. Where for better or worse, now there's like 0 stakes, vastly decreasing the punishment to like a 1, while also making the difficulty like a 2 or 3, calculating a bullshit factor of 2, making them extremely accessible to gamers of all skill levels, and sold like 1 trillion copies. I don't really know, man. I never really played them. I got Gamecast.
But it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that in the year 2025 AD, gamers love getting they ass beat.
Dark Souls, especially at the time of its release, was like 999 difficulty punishment bullshit factor. It is straight up obnoxious to a new player. But it also wouldn't be nearly as memorable or meaningful an experience if it didn't beat your ass in the manner it does, while also having such a rich world full of unexplained secrets making you say please. But Dark Souls is far from perfect and also has some really bad frictional aspects as well, aka how nothing is balanced at all, and you can get cursed by frogs, and some runbacks are just obnoxious to be obnoxious, and some areas run like shit, and some areas just aren't finished. But Dark Souls inspired a billion games after it, including Hollow Knight.
While playing Silksong, I thought about a lot of different Souls games, but more specifically Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, because I feel they have a lot in common.
Erdtree, more so than any Souls game prior, cranked that difficulty knob so goddamn high it nearly broke off the Miyazaki flux capacitor. But it also had relatively low punishment a lot of the time, at least when it comes to many of the boss fights. FromSoft gradually realized that, hey, do you guys think that maybe forcing the player to do a run back every single time they want to attempt a really hard boss might be a pointless waste of time that offers no stimulating challenge beyond proving you can do the same thing over and over again? Perchance, yes. But we can still do the fucked up swamp level, right? Well, yeah. I mean, come on. God, I love working here. We're all so fucked up. That's why most bosses have a checkpoint right outside the door. Now they can have a boss that two-shots you with a never-ending 20-hit combo without fully maximizing that bullshit meter to where I stop playing. Although, Sometimes I got pretty fucking close. Some of those fuckers were just way too fast. It's like they went back to making Sekiro bosses, but with Dark Souls 3 combat. And you just get to die a billion times until you can finally differentiate which combos actually end and which ones just extend into infinity. Goddamn girl, how much stamina you fucking got? And I soloed the last boss at launch before they nerfed him, and I have footage of it to prove it. So don't you dare reduce any possible criticism to get good, pussy.
I had a whole video about Erdtree that I actually canceled because it just wasn't very good, and a lot of my complaints at the time did sort of just boil down to skill issue, but I had a pre-release review copy and everything courtesy of Bandai Namco. I probably should have put the video out. Actually, that's my bad. Sorry about that one.
My theory is that the main reason many people are saying Skong is too hard is because when they upped that difficulty knob, they did not also adjust that punishment knob accordingly. Combat, platforming, and bosses are all typically much more demanding than a lot of Hollow Knight 1. Certain enemies hit you for 2 masks. Most bosses hit you for 2 masks. Hell, even environmental hazards sometimes hit you for 2 masks. And you only start with 5, so if my calculus is correct, that's a 3-mistake wiggle room you're rocking with. And even when you finally get a 6th mask after hunting down 4 different mask shards, you still die in 3 hits because 6 divided by 2 is still 3, so why didn't I just start with 6 masks to make that first new mask actually hit once I got it?
You got me over here doing fucking bug math!
But like Hollow Knight 1, the punishment for failure is having to repeat sometimes long, sometimes short, but oftentimes tedious runback sections just to get another crack at a boss you have 0 knowledge on. And 3 mistakes to quickly try and learn that boss before once again walking your white bug ass back to 8 Mile.
Which this is really the core nugget and central thing I was trying to get to this whole time. When is it fun to repeat stuff?
Because okay, in an effort to be a fair critic, perchance we look at it a different way. One could argue Silky is actually predominantly a platformer that just heavily features combat. And in many platformers, the punishment for failure is having to complete many sections that you have already completed because that's where the sense of accomplishment often stems from. It's like fighting Bowser at the end of a Mario level, but this Bowser boofs creatine. And finally beating Boof Bowser might not be as satisfying if the stakes of really not wanting to do that fucking run back again weren't there. Remember stakes and punishment and friction and all that stuff with Resident Evil? We talked about it, remember? But also, I felt that proving I can get to the last judge boss fight over and over didn't really add anything to my eventual sense of accomplishment when I beat it. It's just a bunch of time spent I know I will never get back.
But hold on there, Yogi Bear. To counter my counter, I then read the article Hollow Knight Silksong's Hardest Checkpoint and Why I Like It by Lee Brady on my favorite gaming publication I've definitely heard of before, TrueAchievements.com.
And Lee made a pretty damn compelling argument in favor of this now notorious runback's inclusion, essentially saying that this sharp jump in difficulty right at the end of Act 1 is a final test to the player to make sure that they can hang once it gets really fucked up in Act 2. The player, fueled by their impatience and frustration, will likely get much better at platforming simply because they want to get through this ass play as fast as possible. Maybe even discovering shortcuts along the way via nail bouncing, which is certainly a skill Act 2 wants you to be pretty fucking good at. And with this particular, now infamous runback to the last judge,
I surprisingly might actually side with Lee Brady on this one. You know what? Fuck it. Shout out TrueAchievements.com. They should pay me for all these shout outs they're getting. But also, in perchance, let me just say this. When I finally did beat the last judge, I fucking died from the explosion because my dumbass put the controller down.
bro, most bosses do like an explosion effect thing when they die, but this one actually fucking exploded. And now I get to do all of that over again because apparently I sinned a lot in a past life.
But even if you're in the camp that thinks runbacks are a key component of this game, what about all the runbacks that don't really have anything going on?
If every death requires me to mindlessly run back to a bathroom, I gotta run to a bathroom and shit my pants. If every death requires me to mindlessly run back to a boss room without any actual challenge thrown my way, then what is the point of the runback's inclusion at all other than just adding hours to my overall playtime?
I'm legit asking you, yes, you, whoever is watching this right now, am I being a crazy, impatient iPad baby? I'm legit asking you right now. Be honest with me. Go down in the comments. Let me know. Do I need a binky and a a Binky and a Baby Bjorn to cruise around in. Let's start a poll. Let's hear from the people. Let's get it started. Shout out Black Eyed Peas. Let's get it started. Do not look up the original lyrics to that song, though.
And do not even get it Black Eyed Peas started on the dirty dog shit piece of hogwash hog calling contest that is Coral Tower. Having to wait for Hornet to wake up, play the song again, wake up again, launch up into the room, get into the room, and then finally attempt the marathon of 3 separate Hell in a Cells full of freaky flyer miles that take 1 billion fucking hits to kill. Every single time you die is so wildly unnecessary and fucking infuriating. I'm spitting right now. Honestly, that run back of just having to wait for Coral Tower pissed me off more than any of the actual fights in this game, because it turned out the hardest boss was the fucking clock in my house, but you would not believe his backstory. It's demented as shit. The nicest thing I can say about Coral Tower is that at least your fucking weapon tools don't run out because you're going into a dream. I use the hunter's crest. You're a hunter, you're going into a dream. You get fucked up by crows, and this is just Bloodborne.
Do you know how many people I have recommended Bloodborne to who quickly bounced off it just because the beginning is so goddamn impossible to a new player?
I have been racking my brain for years trying to understand why Bloodborne chose to have finite healing vials and bullets. I really want to understand the seemingly obtuse design choice of letting the player easily fall into the negative loop of, I'm dying because I used up all my blood vials, but I can't get more blood vials because I can't stop dying.
All right, well, my whole point is that when it comes to many aspects of Silksong, it's kind of the same shit.
If you want to use the very cool tool weapons during very difficult boss fights, you're first gonna have to stock up on shards by grinding enemies or by purchasing shard bundles. I actually gamified the crap out of this once I was in Act 2 by getting really good at fighting these big guys in this long ass hallway. And I'd just do it until I had like 1,000 rosaries to spend on shard bundles and everything else that's expensive as fuck because the rosary economy is in the gutter. Bro, bosses can't even afford to have any. You are so seriously PLS'd up for so much of this game if you don't grind, because the majority of bosses give you jack shit. Like even dropping a couple Benjamins would really help me out. I think what they wanted to do with shards is give you an extra incentive to engage with enemies while you're out exploring other than just rosaries, but I think you could still achieve that if resting at a bench at least always refilled your tools like 30%. Hell, while I'm at it, do the same thing for Bloodborne and at least give me like 3 blood vials. Okay, 2. Okay, fine, just give me 1, goddammit! Bloodborne has super tedious runbacks, an overly punishing difficulty, and fucked up birds that will make you want to throw up. It also has one of the most engrossing worlds that I have ever experienced in a video game that shoves its claws deep into your fucking skull and refuses to ever let go, and some of the finest boss battles ever crafted by human hands. It is one of the best games I have ever played that is extremely hard to recommend to any of my friends. Put Silksong in that fucking Mad Lib, and now we're finally getting somewhere, okay? Critical Jitical can go fuck off and flick his clitical, okay? He can go get Analytical Spherical Miracle. You're now just talking with a 30-year-old man who really loves a game about bugs.
I want to tell you about a bench. This is a bench in Tompkins Square Park, East Village, New York. I sat on a piece just like this for dozens of hours in 2020 while I was writing a video called Naughty Dog's Game Design is Outdated. Saying an entire company's game design is outdated is certainly a choice.
Yeah, but I do stand by the vast majority of what I said in that video, and I continue to have strong feelings about that game and that story to this day. Not because I don't want it to exist or, oh, fuck that game, I don't care. It's the opposite. It's actually because I care so much about it existing at all. But I also think with the culture of YouTube and advertising at large, if you want your stuff to actually be seen by an audience, you also kinda gotta play the game game a little bit, and Naughty Dog's game design is outdated is a lot more intriguing and succinct than Naughty Dog's game design is super insanely impressive in 1,000 different ways and one of the best third-person shooters ever, but the clear dissonance between how the cutscenes and gameplay handle the incredibly graphic violence that is central to the story feels empty, outlandish, and outdated. Saying that Fallout 3 is garbage sounds pretty brutal, but then you watch that video and you're like, yeah, man, especially compared to New Vegas, Fallout 3 is pretty garbage. But also, without Fallout 3, there is no New Vegas or Skyrim, so obviously there is merit to that game, but Fallout 3 is garbage is a lot more intriguing and succinct than Fallout 3 is important, but is also a really bad RPG with very poor writing and narrow choices that completely disrespect the design philosophy of prior entries in the series. I mean, to be fair, I probably would click on a video titled that as well. By the way, in no world is this me going after Bomber guy of all people. Are you fucking kidding me? I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I love bro and his videos. Do not misinterpret me, for the love of God. But on YouTube at large, when it comes to gaming video essay review type videos, there does seem to be a specific tone and type of video that is popping up more and more often. I'm speaking with the attitude that I know better than the people who actually managed to create something against all odds, and I want my viewers to also feel a sense of superiority because hating stuff is easier than making it. Also, I think Margot Robbie is mid.
Like, once again, to myself included, bro, we are not the thinker. I promise I'm doing this because I just really care about the medium and I'm not just carelessly looking around for things to shit on. But have I mentioned that I 100%ed this game and played it for 80 hours and frequently felt like I was having a once every 10 years transcendent gaming experience? Because that all feels pretty important too.
Yes, this game is probably too hard for a lot of people and has some frictionary design concepts that I am not that crazy about. But I am crazy about this game. So crazy that it put me in an existential crisis. Listen to this bug. Is that even a design concept? I don't even, just give it a 10 already and let's fucking move on. Playing through the vast majority of this game without looking anything up definitely led to some really difficult moments, but it also gave me what I am finally, after years and years and years, realizing is my favorite emotion that is possible from playing a video game.
Childlike wonder. This shit is endless. This world feels infinite. How are there this many different enemies and this many different bosses and this many different bug NPCs and this many amount, this word is starting to feel weird, I've said it too many times, amount of secret walls that open up entirely new areas?
Every bug sings their own individual song. Do you realize how many fucking bugs are in this game? I whipped my needle out constantly and was so consistently shocked by the results. I mean, just look at this shit. I know a lot of you just fucking sped past that spoiler warning at the beginning of the video, and now maybe you'll go play the game, and you should, because I guarantee you will still be so surprised by so many things in this game, because this video would need to be like 9 hours long in order for me to spoil all of it. Learning to move through this world with the speed and precision and grace of like an opera on roller skates, we had to mention Counter-Strike one time, is euphoric. Like, you can't really explain to someone how good this game feels unless they actually play it, because of all the animations. She does the fucking Castlevania shit. The bosses in Silksong have such an incredible pacing to them. So many fights feel like this pitch perfect, harmonious duet that you and bro are singing together until someone eventually dies. Discovering the mist, slowly realizing the Lost Woods ass style way to navigate it, reaching the exhaust organ, encountering the motherfucker maestro inside responsible for your soundtrack, experiencing what is arguably my favorite boss fight in the whole game, and then on top of that, you get a fucking parry ability? Are you pulling my leg off right now? Stop! No! Experiencing that shit on a Steam Deck in bed at like 4 a.m. has already cemented itself as one of my favorite memories from any game I have ever played. Oh, the run back for Phantom is kind of annoying though, because it's just these mindless gas vents. You better shut the goddamn hell up right now. Do not make me send you back to Mr. Corndog Man, because I fucking will. I'll fucking send you back to the Corndog Man.
Bro, who gives a shit that the run back is a little annoying? Do you hear this music playing right now? I mean, I don't, because I'm in a fallout shelter, but you do. I'm sure it's nice. It must be nice. Must be nice. Christopher Larkin, what gives you the goddamn right? You have the audacity to write music this good and not put the main battle theme on Spotify? What the fuck?
Yes, this theme, one that often plays during those Hell in a Cells, is one of my favorite songs in the entire game. It got me fired up every single time I heard it, and somehow has the perfect concoction of like determination and fear and uncertainty, and I just really like it. And you decided to leave it off the official soundtrack, Mr. Larkin, because someone, wanted to see my ball growl. And let me just also say this. She's an old dog, but she still bark. The way this game conveys the crooked nature of this corrupt bug world through its environments, dialogue, and gameplay is second to no one. I kept notes on my phone to remember things like a door that I would need to return to or an NPC I just thought was really interesting and I liked. Finding Loam, hearing his pain grunting and dialogue, running on the little treadmill next to him to only eventually be rewarded with one rosary along with Loam's praise.
It all paints such a vivid and devastating picture of what's going on here.
It's similar to the confession booth you can pay 25 rosaries for. It literally does nothing. You can do it a billion times, it will always do nothing. And that's amazing. One of the only times I looked something up in this game was in Bilewater, the most bullshit part of this game by far, a now infamous platforming gauntlet through poison where one of your rewards is a fake bench that drops you right back into poison. My brother mentioned that there was actually another secret bench to make the most brutal run back in the game by far easier, and I just got really tired of trying to look for it, so I eventually caved and Googled it. But that search inadvertently revealed to me that there was actually a charm I could get in an area I didn't even know existed that would help with the poison. Would I have found that area on my own if I didn't look it up? Maybe. But probably not. If every area in this game was as frustratingly obtuse and punishing as Bilewater, I certainly would not love it as much as I currently do. But I can admit that there is value in having something in the age of online discussion be so hard that it requires help from others to overcome, and that every possible inch in secret will be discovered eventually through that shared connection.
So what's the point of this entire video and what I have apparently decided to yap about this time? Honestly, I think I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
This is a game that I clearly have many problems with, but I am simultaneously so overwhelmed with gratitude that it even exists at all. And it's $20. This game is cheaper than the t-shirts I am trying to sell to you. Team Cherry, you're fucking up my whole thing.
I have been doing this for 10 years now, and I feel like I have learned a billion things about writing and making videos, but I also feel like I haven't learned a single fucking thing, and I still have no idea what I'm doing.
I think I'd like to keep making videos for the next 10 years if, you know, and if you or anyone else watching is still watching, but we both know my upload frequency has become less and less over time, and I think I'm still trying to pinpoint exactly why. But I hope I figure it out, and in the meantime, thank you so much for watching my video, and for watching any of the videos. I told myself I wasn't gonna fucking cry. Any of the videos in the past 10 years, and I will see you next time.
but also perchance we just try and figure it out right now instead. Sorry, I need your car. I'm late for my YouTube video, sorry. Dude, I've been sitting here for weeks and I've just been racking my brain day after day, night after night. Wait, hold on, I want to hit this jump real quick. Can I line this up? Still got it. I think as far as the like, why has my upload schedule been more infrequent? I think dude, Playboy X, you gotta stop. I think it comes down to two main reasons that I've been thinking about a lot. The first one, unfortunately, I think is an unhealthy one where I care way too much what other people think. Wait, hold on. I want to try to do a barrel roll off this ramp. Shit. All right. And it's not limited to just videos. Anyone that's a fan of my music, which I appreciate that, I think that it's even worse when it comes to that. And I'm actively working on music and I really want to release it, but I think it's never good enough and it always just fucking cringes me out or I hate it or whatever. And I think Playboy, you gotta cut it out, dude. I think I have a very irrational fear of, like, my worst case scenario is uploading a video and being the, oh, here's this fucking guy again guy. You know what I mean? Oh, here's this fucking guy again doing the same formula, doing the same nostalgia thing. Oh, he's on the ball, he's on the green screen, which it's like, it's not that. That's really reductive. Just like it's really reductive of me to suggest that so much of YouTube gaming is like oversaturated, you know, sea of guys standing in front of thumbnails, because it's not. There's so many people that are consistently putting out really thoughtful, interesting videos. So I was talking to a really nice bartender the other night, you know who you are. He asked me, how did you even get started making videos? Like what led you to it? And I was also pretty drunk, but I think I gave him a pretty honest answer of like, I consumed a lot of YouTube and I just had the thought, oh, I wonder if I can do that. Oh God. This could not get worse. And I think that I wonder if I can do that is a very powerful feeling and phrase that it has led, at least me personally, to doing a lot of things that I've had a lot of creative fulfillment out of. But the second reason, and one that I don't think it's as unhealthy, I never want to put something out that I don't care about. And obviously that's only a luxury I can afford if I can afford it. For better or worse, I know what it feels like to be absolutely juiced up and passionate about a project. And the downside, the double-edged sword of that, you know exactly how it feels when you don't feel that. Because I know what it feels like to feel inspired by something or what direction I want to be pulled in. It's just not necessarily in the same way that it has been, which was discovering this formula of mine and figuring out how I can express different things about different ideas, or, you know, whether it's more nostalgic or more critical or just something I wanted to talk about or whatever. It's been an incredibly life-changing and life-affirming. I don't know if I'm using that in the right way of, you know, as someone that didn't really have any sort of path lined out post-high school, I think that it's been a really, really rewarding 10 years that has required navigating and learning a lot. It's not something that I ever want to stop doing. I think it's just that the typical format is what I'm feeling is outdated. I think that along with making more videos and finally releasing more music and really pushing myself on that front and stop getting way too in my own head about it, I think my actual like wet dream I shouldn't phrase it like that. It's something that I've already publicly talked about, but with Ball Creative, I really do want to expand into other things, and obviously game development, but I also know how difficult of an undertaking that is. I also know what it feels like to really be curious about something, and, you know, the whole I wonder if I can do that. And so I know that is the route that I am headed down, and it is a dream of mine to do that with my brothers. But I think the further dream, if I'm being really honest, is the idea of we make something and whatever, you know, I'm pretty sure shoddy, sloppy piece of shit that it will be, especially as a first game, and making games are so fucking hard, and that some fuck on YouTube makes a video called NakeyJakey's game design is outdated. That is my absolute dream, because I know that person only made that video because they care so much. The only reason you stay up at night writing a script or film yourself, which is weird as fuck. What I'm doing right now, if you could see the way my camera is set up in my hallway, I got McDonald's delivered and it looked like I'm filming a fucking snuff film. Filming yourself is weird as fuck, and so I would know that that person only made that video because they care about gaming or about YouTube or about just talking some shit so much that they spent time making something. And I think that's the whole thing. I think that's the best thing. I think that the best things are inevitably outdated. Every single one of my favorite games, what I'm presently playing definitely included, is outdated or heavily flawed in some way. That's partially what makes them so beautiful, is you can see the cracks in between of like the human passion that went into it, because it's not just some fucking AI fed slop. Michelle, you're fucking outdated. GTA 4, truer nostalgia. Bro, shut the fuck up. At times, I think that this is maybe my favorite game ever made, and it is so heavily flawed. Rockstar's game design is outdated, it says the guy who's made a billion videos about Rockstar and is currently playing one right now. I love that video, and I'm really proud of myself for making it, especially at the time when I did, but also like, Red Dead Redemption 2 might be the greatest story ever told in a video game. Bethesda's game design was outdated a decade ago. Actually though, what are they doing over there with the Fallout Anniversary Edition? Dude, Fallout 4 being like, it runs worse, and it's $60 for a game that's what, now 10 years old? It's as old as my fucking YouTube channel? Like, I love Todd and I want Elder Scrolls 6 to be really good, but man, they are really burning a lot of bridges with their fans, dude. Anyways, if you're seeing this right now, or if I'm just somehow, I should probably talk more into the mic, or if I'm just somehow telepathically communicating to anyone who has ever watched one of my videos, I truly mean it. Thank you. I'm not gonna cry this time. I'm probably gonna cry. Thank you so much. And I'm not going anywhere. I want to keep making stuff. It just might be a little different, and all I can do is try. So if you ever feel like, I wonder if I can do that. Oh, I knew I was gonna cry. I wonder if I can do that. Fucking do it. I'll see you next time.